Good morning, everyone. Just doing a little bit something different today. I actually was just got out of a talk about or webinar on quantum computing that was hosted by the Quantum Strategy Institute, and I am looking to. I'll share the screen there. Very interesting stuff. I am super excited, as you know, about quantum computing. But what was really kind of impressive is that all of these thought leaders were assembled. Here, let me see. Can I move this around? I can move that around. That's pretty cool. So, yeah. So it was. I mean, there's just so much potential here, and one of the key themes I think inside of this talk, and feel free to ask any questions either live or on the replay, is that there's this impression. And let me know how the audio is because I don't have my headset and on my fancy podcaster microphone. I'm upstairs in the kitchen, waiting for the plumber. So, one of the things I think I've experienced, and this is a common kind of theme, is the idea that it's too hard. And you know what? There are parts of it, honestly, I tell you, quite frankly. And of course, my name is Frank, so that was kind of. But boom, I don't have the drum effect here. But it's hard. Like the first time I was like, I want to learn quantum computing. My origin story and interest in quantum computing basically starts with the idea of, when I was at MLADS. MLADS is the Microsoft conference for internal employees only. And it's basically a conference hosted by Microsoft Research. And it was the Machine Learning and Data Science Summit. I went in 2016, no exaggeration, changed the trajectory of my career and arguably my life. It was where I was first really introduced to the idea that I could do data science as a software engineer. It would be a bit of a career flip, but I could do it. It was definitely doable. Fast forward to 2019, I attended MLADS once again in person, which I think to this day remains the last MLADS that was held in person. And the second day keynote, I forget the lady's name, but she basically runs the Azure Hardware Group. At least I don't know if she still does, but she did at the time. And I'm like, why are we having a hardware person at a data science event, right? Like, I get it. Like, I don't care anymore because of the cloud, the magic of the cloud, right? It makes it so I can go and spin up as many machines as I want, right? Like Databricks is a great example of that. I need 36 machines with multi-core GPUs. Go do it. I don't care anymore about the hardware, right? I don't have to care and feed a herd of machines anymore, and that is the true value of the cloud, in my opinion. I've sold cloud services for Microsoft. I'm selling kind of software now, but I mean, ultimately, that's kind of the value of the cloud. Whether that cloud is owned by a company that's owned based in Redmond, based in Seattle, or based in Mountain View, or somewhere in upstate New York. So anyway, back to the story at hand. So I'm there. I'm like, why in God's name are we talking about hardware in there? So I sit there and I'm like, all right. So I start checking my email, and then she started saying a few things that perked my ears. Now I have to be careful because some of that stuff was confidential. But the short of it is that what was revealed was that we are in danger of having basically an AI winter because of the limits of conventional computing. And then she proceeds to talk about quantum computing. And then somebody else comes up from research and kind of explains the potential of quantum computing. And just like I had that aha moment, right? That Blues Brothers moment, if you've seen the movie where he goes, I've seen the light. I saw the light about quantum. I was so excited. I actually recorded a data point right outside the building. I didn't record it in the building, not to get in trouble, but I went outside the building, kind of, you can hear my breathless excitement, right? I was just so excited about what I saw and what I heard. And ultimately, that night at the hotel, I installed the quantum developer kit, QDK, Q Sharp. And then it was kind of like saw the hello world, and then was kind of like, okay, now what? And ever since then, I realized that, the conventional means of doing, looks like somebody's trying to reach me. the conventional means of programming, the conventional means of development, it's going to require a different type of thinking. So ever since then, I've been focused on kind of learning about quantum physics and quantum mechanics and what this means. What does qubits mean? Like, what does it all mean? And I've been fortunate to attend some really interesting seminars, and I don't have a whiteboard attached to this, but I can explain kind of the. Stay tuned for future live stream, whether you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and of course LinkedIn. LinkedIn is I don't like to play favorites, but come on. Anyway, the short of it is that yes, it is hard. However, you don't have to be a quantum physicist to do quantum computing. Right. The big takeaway from this session I was at this morning was that the quantum ecosystem is going to require all types. It's going to require marketing people. It's going to require physicists, obviously. It's going to require developers. It's going to require sales engineers. It's going to require DevOps people. The whole point here is that you can get into this field. Is it hard? Yeah, it is. The first time I read or attended any kind of advanced quantum seminars, I'd get a migraine after 15 minutes, right? I'd read a book on quantum engineering, quantum algorithms. I'd get a migraine after 15 minutes. But you know what? Now I'm at about an hour, right? It's kind of like running a marathon, right? You don't run the 26.1 miles the first day, right? You run it. You run the 5K first, right? You kind of expand your knowledge, you build up the muscle. And that's really the key here is that, I think one of the problems, and I forget where I heard this, was that, we are expected to, once we hear something, understand it right away. That rarely happens. That does happen. I will say it does happen. It's not impossible. It's just improbable. And the same thing goes for anything else, right? Yeah, there's some work going on in my house, so pardon the background noise. But I was just so excited about this because it was the first time I heard somebody else say it, right? Like the idea that quantum computing, this whole ecosystem is require a variety of skills, right? A diverse kind of repertoire of skills from the engineer, from the marketing to the whole thing, the whole shebang. It's a business, and I think that one of the things that I really was inspired by was kind of this notion of, this is going to spawn industries we can't imagine yet. And that really resonated with me because if you look at, and somewhere in the data-driven podcast, I've said this, right, where you go back in time, right, to the dawn of the automobile age, right, not about a century ago, when automobiles started to be kind of the de facto way that people got around, right? When Rockefeller and Ford and all the original automakers were starting to get their stuff together, could they have foreseen the convenience store, right? You go, I think I actually did this in front of a Circle K, right? Because the Bill and Ted reference. But can you imagine, like 100 years ago, going back? Well, there's going to be these stores where you can fuel up your car, and you can get snacks and food and newspapers and stuff like that. And there's no let me move. So there was no that was a whole convenience store industry did not exist. You can see there's a hole in my ceiling. So let me go to another room where it might be a little more quiet. I'm actually going to stream outside. Why not? Right? It's a beautiful day. We don't get a lot of awesome days like this in DC. Usually it's either really hot or really cold. So that's my point, is that the if you look online, there's like a whole industry group, trade association associated to just convenience stores. And I bring that up because, one, we've all been to a convenience store. We all fuel up our car. What's that going to mean? What's that going to change, right? What sorts of tertiary or tangential industries are going to spring up because of quantum computing, right? If you look at electric cars, right? Electric cars right now and probably for the foreseeable future are going to take about 30 to 40 minutes to fuel up. Well, right now, when you fill up your gas tank, it's an exercise in 5-10 minutes, right? That's the key to go in. You go in, you get some maybe a snack, some coffee, I don't know, whatever, you go into your local convenience store, they all pretty much around the world look the same. And what's that going to look like, when electric vehicles are more the norm, right? Are you going to have a situation where, since it takes 40 minutes, are there going to be restaurants that pop up? Are restaurants going to become the new filling station, right? These are the types of things that I really believe that unintended consequences tend to be the most powerful and underrated and least understood of any kind of paradigm shift. And ultimately, getting back to kind of, this is that what I really like about this group is that they're focusing on quantum strategy. Let's see, so I think they just launched today, but the webinar, if the webinar is any indication of where they're going, I think this is going to be an awesome group. I definitely want to have some folks in the podcast. If you were on the call and you want to be on Impact Quantum, ping me on LinkedIn or ping me on any of these platforms. I'm Frank Diggs Data on Twitter and Instagram. And so, yeah, that's it. And if there's any questions, let me know. Hopefully the audio is okay out here. I have not tested this. After 18 months of working solely from home, no business travel, no office visits, it is nice to get out of the basement and kind of walk around and stream. And as you can see, my dog is here, and he's upset that I'm outside without him. But with that, I'm going to end the stream a little early. Maybe I'll stream again later to share some kind of updates about the VR stuff I've been working on. But I think what's exciting is the future is what we make it, and the opportunities that exist in terms of both quantum and virtual reality are the likes of which I have not personally seen since the start of the .com era. So with that, I'm going to end the stream. You have a great day, and talk to you later.